This is the Variety Show 2024. I hate to keep picking on CNN as a news network, but they deserve it because they're the biggest kid on the block. They're the biggest one, and they've been around the longest for that type of news, 24/7 cable news. Because there's only the big three. I mean, Fox News has been around since 1996. MSNBC, they're awful. They've been around since 1996. They're just the anti-Trump channel. And then CNN is the oldest. They've been around since June of 1980. They go way back. And they were really the pioneer. They were the first of 24/7 cable news. Before that, it was the days of Walter Cronkite when we didn't really have 24/7 news. People got their news at 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock. It wasn't like a 24/7, it wasn't like a round the clock thing. And 1980, that revolution started, pre-internet days. But they're going down, and everyone knows they're going down, and mainly it's the Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson, and it's the podcast, it's the long form conversations on these podcasts and YouTubers as well, but mostly like Joe Rogan and Patrick Bet David and Megan Kelly and and Candace Owens and all these types of long form conversation podcasts are taking their audience away. We saw that with Trump because they said that was instrumental in Trump winning. He didn't really know, or Trump wasn't really familiar because it's more like a young person's thing. He wasn't really familiar with podcast, and then he realized their audience is so massive that when Trump did podcasts, he started surging, and it made a big difference. He went on Aiden Ross, who's a very young guy that has a podcast. He went on Theo Von, another young guy that has a podcast. He did do Joe Rogan. I mean, so when Trump realized how powerful podcasts are on the internet, he started to surge. They really made a difference for him. That's just an example that CNN is going down. And you just look at, they got rid of Don Lemon. Don Lemon is no longer there. They fired him, but they still got Anderson Cooper and they still got Jake Tapper, anti-Trump people and so forth, and other boring individuals that have been working for them for years. They're horrible. They're awful, beyond awful. They're boring. You're not getting everything, and they're in La La Land. They're in outer space. They're not even like real news, and they are. Trump was the one that coined them as fake news, and they are. They are awful, 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 awful. The Variety Show 2024.